Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock Review is thrilled to have on Grammy, Dove, and BET award-winning hip-hop artist, New York Times bestselling author, and actor, Lecrae. Thanks for coming on the show, Lecrae.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
You know what? You and I were talking before we started the show. This new album, Restoration, which I've always loved your music, to where, as a hip hop artist, it's like, just great music, but also great messages within. But this album feels so honest and everything about it. And there's so many great songs on here.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was fun to create. And I think, again, it's just being authentically me. The most healthiest version of me creates that honesty.
Right. Well, and also, obviously the song that John Legend joined you on, Drown, is getting a lot of attention. I think my favorites on the album, which I told you I might have to add to my playlist now, Set Me Free and also Wheels Up. But I mean, is all these songs are so great. We were talking as well about, some of the recording techniques to where some of them almost feel like an old style family film. I love it that I can hear the vinyl scratches, and then it sounds like, like your grandmother speaking and things like that. It just makes them even more powerful.
Yeah, that's funny. I had to sneak those in. We were just filming at my grandmother's house, and I had family over, and I just would catching them in conversation, and they were just talking to my friends, and I just was capturing content, and I snuck it on the album.
That is so awesome, though. But what did all the family say when they heard these cuts? And it's like, and they heard that you snuck it on there. Because I mean, to me, that's the joy of it. Is it feels so candid.
Yeah, no, they loved it. They were like, "Oh my gosh, I made the album," and I was like, "Yeah, you made the album." So they loved it. We didn't put anything crazy. Anything that they would have said that would have been like, "Your family's legit crazy." We left all that stuff off. Yeah.
That's what's so much fun, though. I mean, in the depth of the album with Restoration, and you've done so well with your past albums, with on Billboard and everything else. But this has been just an incredible build up to where, you have the deluxe edition in October, but also, I Am Restored, your second book, which your first book, Unashamed, was a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, no pressure. I mean, no, it's great. I'm excited. The book, the album is kind of like a soundtrack to a journey. And then the book is kind of like giving you the story, like really walking you through the whole journey that I went through, and, just leaving nuggets. We were talking about that earlier. I don't learn from charts and graphs. I learn from stories, so I tell a lot of stories in the book that hopefully will be helpful for other people to learn from.
And I think it's so well put also, in your first book that did so well with Unashamed, you really took people through your life and everything. But with the new book, what I found amazing about Lecrae is that, everybody, so many people in the public think, oh, these stars and these great athletes and musicians and film and TV stars, they've got no problems. They've got all the money. They're living the big life. And you really dispel that, but you also, in the book, you show how all of us can learn, live, and grow.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's the old saying that there's no sympathy for winners. I know that's how people feel, but end of the day, behind every celebrity or public figure that's a human being who has the same emotions that no amount of trophies can shield them from life. It's like life still happens. Family members pass away, mental problems, health issues arise. So there's no amount of money or success that can shield you from kind of life's realities.
Well, and I think you did such a brilliant job of pointing out some of the big, even film stars over the past that, everybody thinks, Robin Williams, Heath Ledger, so many of these over the years that we all watched and listened to and admired, but then, they had their challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if we can connect to people in a real, just a common general way that we can understand that, and we can be helpful and kinder to people, you know, because we're all human beings. And so I think, like you just mentioned with Robin and Heath, you know, they're human beings who shouldn't be seen as, you know, indestructible, but like people who need love and care like everyone else.
Well, you know, and you're an artist, Lecrae, that lives what he says. It's not, you know, not just creating music, writing books. Also, you know, you write articles for Billboard. I don't know when you sleep, but there must be some time in there. And you know, but also all the things that you're doing for the community. You know, just like with the school that you're working on, and with the mask. Talk about some of the things that you're doing community wise.
Man, you know, for me, I've just always had a passion to see things transformed, restored. And I've been working in like disenfranchised communities for so long that a buddy of mine came to me and said, man, I want to build a school in this community that hasn't had one in like decades. And so that idea became a reality. This is actually year 5 of that school, Peace Preparatory Academy in English Ave, Atlanta. And, you know, we got 5th graders. You know, they started as kindergartners and now they're all the way up to 5th grade. It's been a blessing, man, just to see that happen. And, you know, seeing those things are a way for you to not just revel in your own success, but to create opportunities for other people to succeed and for other people to enjoy some opportunities. And then there's, of course, Masks for the People and some of the work I've done with Prison Fellowship, where a lot of incarcerated individuals, you know, they kind of think this is over for them. And I just want them to understand, no, restoration is possible and we can keep pressing forward. Your life hasn't stopped. So let's help you, you know, learn how to, you know, adjust to this new reality and make the most of it. And then, of course, Love Beyond Walls, where people who are currently homeless, just for me, it was more for me when the pandemic hit. I was like, I'm freaking out. The world's on fire. And, you know, I just had a moment where I stopped and I thought, wait a minute, like if I feel like the world's on fire, does a person feel who like has no home, no food opportunities? And so I reached out to a friend of mine and he showed me, you know, some of the needs that were there, and just helping them calmed me down.
Well, I've got to ask you this with all of the guests, because once again, you know, when people buy and download this incredible album of yours, Restoration, how did you end up with all these incredible guests? Because they're all so very different, but also to me, knowing your influences, you know, over the years, you know, of musicians that you admired, how did you end up with these guest artists on your album?
That's the thing, is like, I wanted a cohesive project that felt like an album, but I wanted all of the layers that make me who I am. And so there's so many layers to who I am as an artist. I don't think you can just kind of put me in one place and say, oh, that's his style. And that's something that's always been fun for me. And so when I reached out to different people, there was such a big list of people I wanted to work with. And I kind of had to narrow it down to just like John Legend and Kirk Franklin. And, you know, it was like, oh, I mean, I'll take those guys, but, you know, but yeah, no, it was fun.
You have to settle, Lecrae.
If I had to settle, you know, I'll settle for 2 musical legends. It's not a big deal. But yeah, it was really fun. And I'm very honored that they would grace, you know, my project with their presence, and they did a phenomenal job as well.
You know, once again, you know, listening to the album too, I was thinking, you know, for the follow-up on this, sort of like with Church Clothes, it could be restored again. And then all the people that you didn't have on as guests for this one.
Hey, that's between me and you. Okay.
Just a thought. Well, I want to make sure, you know, with all of the great things you're doing, Lecrae, I want to make sure that our viewers know where to find you on your website, on your social, with your record label, with your YouTube series. I could go on and on. Where should they go?
Just follow me on social media at Lecrae, Lecrae. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's where all the chaos is happening. And I will take you somewhere if you follow me. Just follow me and I'll take you somewhere. It's like the yellow brick road. Follow me there and we'll get to the wonderful world of Oz. Just come on.
Well, and I once again, the brand new album Restoration and the deluxe version of it coming out in October. Also the brand new book, I Am Restored, just incredible. Congratulations on all the success. And you just keep delivering and putting out great content, Lecrae. And I think it helps us all. And thank you for joining the Rock Interview and talking about it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Look forward to being back one day.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.